She always made sure that my mom knew she was okay. She always did. That's why it's just hard to think that, she's off somewhere just not thinking, because it's just not her. She just wouldn't do it.
Another family's pain, another woman missing. 30-year-old Victoria Jobson was last seen leaving her Co-Star Street apartment on October 12th. Since then, her family thought she was in jail and safe. But on Thursday, they found out that was not the case. The mother of two is the latest woman with a background of prostitution and drugs to turn up missing. That brings that number to 4. Police say Jean Gaddy, Janine Clausen, and Sandra Johnson have similar backgrounds. For those families, every time a body is found, their pain is amplified. Cindy Jobson says she often tried to pull her sister off of Lyle Avenue, the street she says Victoria worked. In fact, the last time she saw her, she tried.
I was so mad at her. I just said, good, fine, I don't care what happens to you, just don't bother, because you get discouraged sometimes when you try to get them to come back to reality in a way.
But she also says no matter how tough the situation, her sister would call. Now, Victoria Jobson worked many of the streets along this stretch of Lyle Avenue. In fact, her family says this is where her troubles were. But they also hope that in this somewhere is the key to this puzzle of another missing woman. Pete Gallivan, News 10.
A man walking to work about 6:45 this morning discovered the nude body lying in the snow, just about 30 feet from a set of Conrail tracks. With tire tracks leading up to the body, it appears someone in a vehicle dumped the body off, making no attempt to cover up the victim, except for the fact the woman had a bag over her head.
It's definitely in the vicinity of the body, but we don't know at this point if that has any significance. Was she clothed nude? An unclothed female.
It's hard to ignore the similarities this case has with 3 other murders. Back in the summer of '91, 3 prostitutes were also found dead, dumped near railroad tracks, at least one with a bag over her head. For neighbors who live in the shadow of Lyle Avenue, an area known for prostitution just a block away, this is a rude awakening to the violence that lurks around them. Rhonda Herring is scared. Police aren't convinced of that, or at least aren't saying it publicly. But with the number of unsolved female deaths now at 15, Rochesterians can't help but wonder when the killings will stop. Rebecca LeClaire, News 10. Police have been saying there are similarities and dissimilarities among the 15 deaths, and Victoria Jobson's death proves that. Her official cause of death is blood loss due to multiple stab wounds. Up to this point, the majority of women were strangled to death, so this case stands out.
Well, the cause of death on this one was the stab wounds, which we didn't have at the other homicides.
However, there are similarities that could link Jobson to the others. She was found naked, like most of the victims. There was a bag over her head, like 2 other women, and her body was dumped near railroad tracks. 3 victims were also dumped near railroad tracks. Like in many of the other cases, Victoria Jobson had been missing for quite some time. Police don't know what led up to her death, but most likely she was killed somewhere else and then brought to this location. The medical examiner is still trying to figure out how long she had been dead before she was found. Yesterday's discovery brings the focus of the investigations back into the city. As you can see, the 15th body was close to 5 other bodies found in the center. There's another grouping of 5 bodies to the north in Hamlin, leading some to think there are at least 2 killers, or 1 killer moving from place to place, dumping bodies and staying ahead of police. Rebecca LeClaire, News 10.